This is Wednesday the 9th of September 2003. My name is Pat Christie and I'm going to record John Sandison of Asseter, Heller, Hilswig, speaking about his life and growing up. Could you tell me where you were born and brought up?
I was born and brought up here in Asseter. Did the school in Urford. About early 30s and was at the school until about 1939. And I had they got me off at the school. I should have actually left at Christmas that year, but I left in summer because I wanted help on the craft.
So can you tell me something about the Urford school when you get in? Were there many bairns?
There were about 30, around about 30. 2 teachers.
And what age, like, they would have been, what, from 5 till 14?
5 to 14, yeah, 14 was the age you left school.
And what kind of things would you have done, lessons would you?
Writing, spelling, history, geography, and the later years algebra.
So did they like the skill?
No, very well.
Is that just the actual skill, or did they not like the lessons? Or?
No, well, it's certain lessons, because that was, as you see, history was my best subject.
I mean, did you walk to the school then?
Yeah, I walked.
And what about, like, you wouldn't have had school dinners or anything at that time?
No. At the winter time, the teachers made a cup of cocoa. But of course, the parents had to supply the cocoa. But in the summertime, we just sat out on, we find weather, sat out on the green, ate a bit of bread and drank a milk along. And
what would you hate at the school? Was it a fire at the classroom?
There was a fire and a stove in each end. There was a bug in one end and a stove in the number 8, I think it was in the other end, because that's the one they did use for the cooking.
Oh, so you had cooking classes?
Yes,
oh, okay.
boys cooking then too. And that was a great help, that.
What kind of things would you learn to cook at then?
Oh, that were various things.
Bannocks or?
Yeah, bacon soup, stew, and various.
So, I mean, you wouldn't attend at home then, you were just eating it there.
Yeah.
So, when you says there were 2 rooms, were they like a infant's room and a...
Yeah. I can't mind what age would have been when you get into the other room, maybe about 10 or 11 year old.
And can you mind the teachers' names?
Oh yeah, I can mind some. One of them was Clemmy Leslie. The other one was John Johnson. And then there were other teachers. Clemmy Leslie had an accident, and a car. Well, the teacher was Mary Sandison, a relation of mine, was for a time that winter. And then there were another one for Anderson, for Cathy Anderson, I think, together for Nesting.
And did they just bide here then, near the...
Yeah.
They weren't a schoolhouse, were they actually attached onto them?
Yeah, they were a schoolhouse.
Can you mind any like games or that you might have played within the...
At school? Oh yeah, we did a war version of it was football and cricket and the game together under or time.
And when you weren't at school, can you mind that you played at the...
Yeah, just much the some games came from.
Jackie was saying that you maybe sailed boats in the loch.
Yeah.
Is that the loch just the hunt house?
Yes.
So did you all have 3 boats?
Oh yeah, did yeah.
That would have been good fun as well then.
Yes, it was, yeah.
What did they do when they left the school?
Just working on the craft and doing odd jobs, helping neighbours doing. After it was pit casting.
Do you used to cast pits for fun?
Maybe a month or 5 weeks sometime. Start the beginning of May and into June.
You had a craft here, a big craft here, or was it just a petty craft?
Well, that was fair size craft. I've been in 5 acres arable and 20 acres of Uteron. After when I got this other craft, belonging to Erkie Sandison, lived down by here. And that's the 2 crafts. And then in apartment to the hull.
So were the money houses here in Asseter then, were they?
There were the 3 houses here, and then there were the house where that other house here was built, a new house built on the same foundation. That was a wooden house it was. And that days there were 25 fucking in Aster.
How many of family were you then?
Nee, I'm content back for the first of my mind in me.
That's a fair few folk. How many folk is here now?
There's 3 in here, 3, there's 4, 6, 7, 13.
So there's still a brat, weren't they?
Yeah.
Really? When you was young and you had a fair bit of land and that, so what kind of animals did you keep?
Kind sheep.
So you didn't have a pig or anything like that?
No, they had pigs at one time, but that before my money.
But how many would you have this to think?
They were about 4 kai. Sheep will know nothing money, no. Well, that varied. About maybe 50 odd.
You would have a cow for your own use. How did you market them then?
Oh yeah, those should sell at the ropes. The rope then days was an Oliveberry.
So you would attain your kai to
You had to work
Oliveberry?
Oliveberry.
So what gate did you take?
Along Ronnie's for.
And were ropes held very often?
They were twice a year. May in October, I think.
Were they a lot of folk together?
Oh yeah, they were a lot.
Yeah.
They were up for our North Baving.
But like was a rope then, was it just solely for selling kai or the animals, or was it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It wasn't any other kind of a social gathering or anything?
No, really, no.
No. Aster, was it a big settlement? Maybe even bigger at one time?
No, I thought Asseter was, I thought it was the one house, long ago had been the one house. That was this house here.
You said they were a pretty chapel thing over here. That must be a Brabant age.
Oh, that's old, that's ancient. They believe it was back before the Reformation, would have been in Roman Catholic, and this was Roman Catholic.
And have they much left of that?
No, there's not very much. Well, there really no much was left more. That's all kind of scattered them. This house was with the wooden roof and the veld when I first went. And none of this house was decked then. They put the wooden roof on that in 1919. But there were no decked roofs in Hellier as far as I mind. There were none in Urford. At Lower Aldersford there were a decked roof.
Westbury Chapel, are they a name for that?
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Are there many rig names around here?
The rig names is Kirklands. That rigs belonged to the Kirk. That's since the middle been that Kirk. Upper Kirkland and the Lower Kirkland and Bullens, Broadens and Toons. That comes beyond the Edercraft. That was on Erkje Sanderson's craft, that the Broadens and the Toons were.
Going down over towards the sea and that, what the names of that down that way?
Well, there in Pristica, Wigan, Luttle. That is Norfolk, I suppose. And then, of course, the craft that got Holland. I think the white was named Holland. That craft wouldn't have been there at that time, but that battle was in Ronniesvoort between a Dutch shop and an English. There one Dutchman buried there.
Was that down towards Ronniesville?
Yeah, right down at the seashore, should have been the beach there.
What happened to them? Just again, why they were fighting?
Well, to see, they were at war then, at that time, Holland and Britain. 16 something, I think.
Is that recorded anywhere?
Oh yeah, I think so. You will find it somewhere, yeah.
Does anybody ken where the grave is now, or is it marked?
They marked it, yes, I think so.
You said they were a trowie now as well.
That's done by here. That's with the cross for the, no far for the kirk, with the cross about the side of Born.
Is it a mound?
That's with the mound, yeah. With Born stones inside.
This must be a very, very old place. They must have been folk biding around here for a very long time.
There possibly been, I don't know whether it would have been houses or that, but this would have been when they moved around and they were sort of nomads. Took their kayak that around in the summertime. But where they get till the winter time, I don't know. I never heard that.
Do you say about the name of the place that tied in with a nomad name?
Yeah. Asseter, the Perth Asseter, that's what I'm heard. Asseter, and then they broke it up and get the setter is summer pasture.
So I mean that could connect into that?
That could, yes.
Yeah. So does you see big changes in the crafting then over the years?
Well, I never mind them delling. They used to dell at one time. What to say, plows done with a pretty horse.
You didn't have a horse though?
We had a horse, yes.
Oh, you did?
My father never liked it. I don't know, he was bad with asthma and that. He told me he never liked kerten. He didn't like putting a horse in a kerten. But he harrowed with a horse. He didn't plough. The man next door did the ploughing.
That would have made him feel awful sharp breath.
When he felt best was when it was snowing, hard frost and northerly wind. Yeah, he felt good then. But he was bad with musty weather.
Did he take anything for it?
He used that asthma reliever. It was not a very pleasant smell, that stuff at the bottom to season and breathed it in. Then after that he had epidrain tablets. Then they ended up with injections. He was at the first war. He had asthma before, but after the war he was worse after that.
The war was he in the first
In
war?
France.
In France, yeah, in the trenches?
No, he was, he had asthma, he was a one-man. He was in the REMC. But they were pretty close to the line. He was only called up in 1917, I think, or something, last year. Then he come back to England, he told me on a stretcher. That's the black flu. And that was the black flu that killed so many millions. The flu, you got the black or Spanish flu. That was at the end of the war.
Yeah, so a lot of the soldiers got that.
Oh, yeah.
Then. And what about shops?
Also in Urford, and there were two shops in Hellier. There were Peter Smith that had the shop, and Laura and Lenny's father. Door and Edrin, he was a nephew. He was Artie Sandison that set up a shop, up the Bravey, Peter Smith's shop. Didn't come to very much that I don't think he did much business of that. He died young, that man. He was only 26 when he was TB then.
So what kind of things would you have gotten for the shops at Heller then?
No, you get much things.
And did you buy things in bulk then?
No, I had not seen much in bulk. Should have looked at the time. They tried to be as self-sufficient as possible. Well, there were a lot of fish used then. They were going line fishing in the handling in summer, and what we called pock and sullocks at the first of the winter, early winter.
You would have salted a lot of that?
Yeah, the fish was salted.
Did you have herring?
Salt herring.
And what about mutton?
Roasted mutton.
Just a bit of fresh mutton, likely when the sheep was killed?
Yes. Well, in the winter time, I mean, a sheep didn't go very far among a family.
So you would have made puddings though and stuff
Oh, yeah,
like that.
yeah.
There were shops at Heller and one at Halswick, but the only mayor shop.
One at Urford. It was Johnny Tulloch at that shop.
Did they sell different things or did they mostly all sell the same thing?
The groceries was the same, but Halswick did carry a better stock of hardware and stuff like that. Halswick stocked wood and all that, to see, so timber.
For big and houses or for your craft and side of thing. And what about the Heller shop? Did it supply the boats in the Vault?
Yes, he supplied trawlers. Well, you see, the fishing, that was moved then. That was at what you call the brig there in Colliford. That was the station in Larrow.
But the boats landing there?
They would have done, yes.
What other kinds of employment would it be?
They were not very much employed.
Did a lot of folk move out? The young men or?
The young men, a lot of them was in the merchant navy and the whaling at the winter time. Some was doing whaling maybe for the most of 2 years.
What about the women? Would they have done anything?
Well, nothing was them.
And likely not a lot of money for it.
Well, I think that maybe to compare the just nowadays and wages then, I think it was fairly good. The price was fairly good. And then he went and mixed us all over fair oil, chumpers and that. The amount of hours that they put into that, what they get for them, can never pay.
Say you were going out with a night, how did folk entertain themselves?
Well, there were concerts occasionally, there were concerts and there were dances now and again.
Did you have a concert party?
There were concert parties, yeah. There were concerts like four. When I was a boy, I wasn't taking part then in concerts, but they were concert parties. The teachers played a fair part in it, and the school teachers.
So you putting on a pretty play?
They had plays, music.
They still play?
Accordion.
And in the accordion and fiddle group?
Yes.
Did you play at the dances as well?
Yes. I played at the dances. Well, I played the dances at an early age. I wouldn't like to hear a recording of them. That was just thrown into deep end. This was at the wartime, when the ones that played was Tommy Anderson and his brother Jimmy and that. They were good musicians. And they were called up to see, so there wasn't anybody left. So I played best while I could, and they danced a lot, so that was the anthem.
Were there many dances?
And at the wartime, there were a few. They had RAF band. Using a young. A lot of them, I mean, that was different for the Shetland, what the Shetlanders was used to be. A lot always on saxophones. They maybe played for a Boston or occasionally had some relatives or anybody there could play, but that was mostly modern stuff.
I assume that's at the hall you're speaking about, that you would hate the dances and that kind of thing. What about in the houses?
Well, when I was left the school, I didn't mind many parties in houses, but we used to, after that, the 1950s and 60s, we had lots of parties in the house, lots of parties in here too.
Yeah.
And then various other houses had parties. That was really good.
But before that then, what would folk then get in about for supper time or?
They visited one house, would visit one another. And of course, only could play where want to. Een ander alles, and Ertie next door could play, and ander alles and could play, but they would play with a tune.
And what about this concert parties? Were the singers among them at all?
Oh yeah, they only should sing.
And was all the folk for Helswick that came to that, or were they folk for other places?
Well, you see, nowadays, that was shit, in conversations back and forth, but they weren't money cars then. But I'm seeing things coming maybe 3 or 4 miles, and they walk it, by like hammers for that, it's a mist of 3 miles, I do so.
Thought they would walk it then, they would walk it far further.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of walking. When I first mind the pitch was I carried for the hall. Over was a fine day, my father used to go to Stock and maybe carry him 5 or 6 couches of pitch, so they were pitch him for if it come a bad day.
So that was just carried on your back and
yes.
And as bairns would you help it with that?
Oh yeah, we did.
Luckily as bairns you had a lot of hard work, I would think.
Yeah.
So in your family then, were how many lasses and boys?
6 boys and 12
Right.
others.
Did they all move out?
Middle Charlie, he's in Canada and Peter is in Edinburgh. My sister Nancy, she's no living now, and my brother Andy is no living. Brother Stephen is in Larrow and sister Mummy is in Larrow and Alec and me is here.
I was thinking about the hotel. Would that have employed many folk around here?
There were quite a few employed in the hotel. Because it's only in the summertime when we May till October, I think.
Okay, so it's seasonal.
There were eens for different parts of Shetland. Lasers for different parts of Shetland, they're out in the hotel.
They would come in season and
There were eens for the Isles too, for Yell. After the war, Yell and Skerries, Larrow. And even eens for Koningsborough and Gulberwick.
And they would come to do what, waitering and cooking and...
Yeah.
And what kind of folk came to buy this in the hotel?
Well, and that was mixed. There were some well-to-do folk in the hotel and some should play.
Would they say that they were a difference in the way it folk crafted?
That's entirely different to what it used to be. A lot of it is done with contractors. That's built silage. But that's a great help that because trying to make a lot of hay in a wheat summer was just nearly impossible.
Did you have much meadow hay here?
There weren't an awful lot, no meadow hay. If there was in rotation, you had the acre to a lay.
You would have called that and tying it up. Did you take it up here to the house?
Yeah.
Was it a lot of hay?
Oh, there's a fair lot of hay, maybe 4 days sometimes.
And that would keep it you going out the one?
Yeah, so much corn. But nowadays there hardly any corn and there hardly anybody that grows tatties now.
But you would have had all your own tatties?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Grow a fair amount of tatties, yeah.
Well, would they have been a different in the kind of tatties that you grew then?
They weren't a big variety, which you had the 3 kinds of tatties in then days. Was the champions, and others they called Markney flats, but the right name of them I don't know. But they called the early white.
You didn't work with Shetland blacks?
Oh yes, there were a few Shetland blacks right enough here.
And then new...
Well, there are no champions grown now, they don't grow so well. Champion was better and poorer grown. Once to build up the fertility, I think the champion doesn't do so well. We work with Kerpunks, Golden Wonders, HL Blues, Records. That's the sort of main crop. Earlies is the Sharps Expression and Red New York.
That's a fair bit of difference in variety then,
oh, yeah.
What it was before. Did you grow a rig of cake?
Not now, but
no.
Oh yeah, at one time yes. Would have been no, had been about 12,000.
12,000 plants?
Yeah.
Was your yard?
You know, here, it was killed at the front of the house. But then sometimes we put killing in a rig.
So they're saying about contractors then? What comes with that machinery?
Well, when we first did the belling, that's about 10 years ago.
That's the black bells?
The black bells, yeah. That was DNR contractors, that's for Baxter.
And before you rocked with the black bags, did you work with square bells? Or did
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be a good year before it was ever a success, the square bells.
This'll be a lot easy.
Oh yeah.
Well, it'll not take you near the time to get your hay in, is what it did when you were standing coal and everything.
We still work a lot of hay. That's nothing what it used to be in quantity, so.
You still work a pretty good hay?
Oh yeah, we feed the lambs and that we do. Things we overwinteren we hay. The first year, and then if that hay runs out, then we should feed them on the solid.
If we go back in time again, would you feed lambs over the winter?
Yes.
Yeah.
You had the refreshments.
Did you keep them in a pretty house or anything?
Oh yeah.
So you had your sheep home here, like the hen sheep and hull sheep?
No, she'd hull sheep then it is. Hull sheep, yeah. She'd underscattered.
So the hen would have been just for your crops and for your kye then?
Yeah.
Did the kye ever go?
Yes, they put the kye to the hull sometimes. In the winter, sometimes in winter.
Did you make butter and?
Yeah. Well, in the summertime, if you were going to get enough milk in winter to make butter, you had to feed them very well.
So if you boosted up the feeding, then you would have got.
Oh yeah.
When did you take your kye in?
When I first made the kye was taken in every night, but not every morning.
And what kind of kye would that have been, Shetland?
Oh, it's Shetland. Well, Shetland, and I think the one time we had in it was shorthorn cross.
And the Shetland cow, was that a good milker?
For milkers, I don't think they're in the bit the Shetland cow.
But I mean, you wouldn't have killed them to eat then?
Oh no.
And how long did you keep it cool?
Well, that depended. I'm saying was saying a cow maybe up to 12-year-old.
You would just sell the calves off of that then? Yeah.
Sell like the bull cows, and if they were where calf we thought were going to be a good milker, then we'd give it them for refreshment.
This is the 19th of November 2003, and I'm speaking tonight to John Sandison, and I'm going to ask you, John, what was your favourite toy when you were a pretty boy?
I suppose we'll say the toy car, wind-up car.
So what did you do, wind them up and then
Wind them up and yes, let them go on the floor.
Would they have been like particular models of car?
No, I can't mind any particular model.
And what about boats? Did you make them yourself? Or did
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Well, you could buy them too. You could buy boats and meetings. That only means this.
Yeah, and did you sell them on the
log, yeah.
That would have been good fun then.
Oh, yeah.
Right, John, last time I recorded you then, you spoke about pock and sillocks. I was wondering if you could describe that to me.
Yeah, describe the pock to begin with. Well, the pock is made out of a wrought iron, say about 3/8 rounded. That's about 4 feet in diameter. And the net is only about, I would say the measure, that net is no more as about a half inch 3/4, very close. Mesh. The net tapers down, to a point at the bottom, 2 feet deeper, to over 2 feet deep. And there are 3 slings on their pock and a round 3.
And did somebody make that pock then?
My grandfather wove that net, he said, it must have taken a long time to have done. And then, there is stone putting onto this, at the bottom of the pock, sort of sunk the pock down into the water. Then when they started off, they put something what we call the muck loam. That's the kind what that is, I think.
That's like a queue over the top of the water?
Yes. What my father housed was, he put fish livers at a chair during the summer, and put some of that out, and that's what supposed to fetch the silks up. And then they had their lampets.
That'd be the oily way, the thing.
They had the lampets, and what they did was what they got lifted the lampets, put them into boiling water before they left it. They come out their shell, and then they showed their lampets and put them on top of the pock. That brought the silks there, and then after a short time, then they showed their tatties, boiled tatties, and put that down, and that tatties sank fast, and that made the silks go down. Silks go down after the tatties, and then they held the pot. Fetch them that way. Well, I'm sure getting about a good bucket full at the time.
That would have been good fun as well.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about the 81 disaster then, and the things you heard about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what my father told me. And after Sandison next door, Jebby was in that, Jebby Sandison from next door, and my grandfather. Although it was a close neighbour, they were in different boats. No, I never heard the name of the boats, nor did I ever hear where the full crew was. But the boat that Jebby Sandison was, his uncle was James Winster, and he was a -74 then. And that boat went in to Runnisvaux sort of early on that night. And Gabby went home, but of course my grandfather door, they had nothing at home. Gabby bid out of sight, so they didn't ken that he was home, and they weren't so young. But anyway, my grandfather's boat went into Hamnevaux. Now, Hamnevaux was a treacherous place to went into, but anyway, the skipper of that boat was Wally Johnson, a boat skill, and he was well acquainted with Hamnevaux. And the name of that boat I never heard either. There were a third member of the crew on that boat was Laurie Peterson from Packen and Hulso. What my father told me was that although this was the month of July, it was dark as pitch that night. And the compass at times was useless. There were only now and again that the compass stayed up and they could get a bearing. And anyhow they made the land safe. But there a second sight that comes into this. This wife and Hellier, south of Hellier, standing before the house in the afternoon of that day, and she said a six-ring coming in Runnisvaux in the cell. But that was unusual, a swear cell in Runnisvaux. But anyhow, you watch a six-ring going in past, six-ring get up Runnisvaux till, about where the factory is now. And then she seemed to lift through the water and out over the whole Oliveberry. The Oliveberry boat was lost that night. Some said that, I mean, I was reading the story, they said that that was somebody would hate it him in a rocker at that boat was lost. And some said again that was to go over, but which is right, I do not know.
Was that wife known for second sight then?
No, it happened on time, that's the only that I never ever heard. Some is known for second sight,
yeah.
See, but no, I never heard any other time.
That's a fascinating story. Now, John, you're going to tell me about the men at Heller, what they did in the 81 disaster.
Well, I read this in the Shetland Life 1981, which was the century. And there was one skipper that didn't like appearance at all on the moors, and it was at the sea, so he refused to go off that day. At night, then, that crew gathered what firewood they could find and lighted the fire. Somebody I would think to point on his hull source to guide the other boats in. But there's one thing about there at Runnisvaux, that was out there a place to get Hellia, where the lodges was. That mine, as far as I know, cured their own fish. But of course they had sell them to a merchant.
What's the lodges then?
That's where they bait saved them again, walking home. They could bait at the lodges sometimes. And then could have it to whip in next Sunday.
Yeah, so they would have been working in the fish there all the week. And then they would have been compelled to sell this fish to the merchants.
Yeah, they would have been.
Just to think that mine would have come from far, or would they just been Halswick mine?
There have been Halswick mine and mine for here, as far as I think.
Was that about the same time?
1881, yeah. I was saying that the two mine, my grandfather and John Sandison, were from boats. Well, the salmon in Hellier, Wally Chance was the skipper of the boat my grandfather was on. And now the house at the Cahoon story, it's not very far from boat show, was Tommy Howe. He was the skipper of another boat.
They were saying to me earlier, they didn't like too many folk of the E-Place to go off in the same boats.
I'm only assuming it, that was why. Because you would have thought maybe, I mean, here in Aster, across neighbourhood, my grandfather and Gabby would have been on the same boat, but they weren't.
It certainly would seem logical for no loss on too many men at E-Go.
Yeah.
Right, John, can you tell me about Artie Maud?
They were a grand-uncle of mine. I can't Artie Maud well, but he referred to him as a reckless man. The only way Artie Maud was at sea in 1881. But where he was fishing, I don't know, but he made ons. When the weather moderated, but he left ons. Come in Jeldsund, doen Jeldsund en in Solmvo. Die drew the boat over at Mevers Grind and come out Mevers Grind phone through the bay. At that time Artie Maud was biting in Halsok and Stolberg. So he was wanted the main was to take the boat on to Steiners and he would go ashore. Somewhere out under the Capristica and Nedister, I think it was. Well, he got ashore and the sea took him. But of course they packed him up and they persuaded him not to go ashore again, but he would go ashore. And he went ashore and he didn't look at that when they waited for a time and he asked them what the hell they were waiting for. But anyhow, on his way to Stouberg, he met the minister. And the minister, he recalled this terrible night, he said. This was some order, and he said they had to trust the providence that they were control that safely. He said providence had nothing to do with it, was for a good kill.
It's a good story. But why did thy father think he was reckless? Was he a man that kind of took risks?
Oh, then he took risks.
Yeah.
Sinds de man sailed over the top of yon bar with a bay.
And you said he fell?
He fell in the halse skade. He for 2 days, he said before he fell.
He lived to tell
He lived. He told the story about foe. He saw a lot of the fuck. It was gone for him. Fuck it was died. He's supposed to see that fuck. So he said.
He got a bad knock on his head, you said. Yeah.
But it really didn't affect him on you.
He's been a hardy man that survived that. You're going to tell me about your mother washing clays?
Oh, that was when we were bairns, maybe well even after that, because then days there were no washing machines, and there were no power in the houses anyway, so maybe we had dry summer, the hem wells had been getting low, but anyway they were a fine well out by the god Bobby Mold's well outside the whole decks. Most bairns used to carry something. She was washing a tub and an iron kettle, pitch and wood, and the clays, carried with clays, and then it was the bronze until a bucket. Set on the fire to side that well. Of course that well never dried up. He was a splendid well. Boiled the water, washed the clays, then there was a stretch whole deck, hung those clays on the whole deck and dried in night time. The weather was fine.
That's been hard work though.
Oh yeah. Much easier is washing it house and to carry the water for the well.
Yes. Would you use the scrubbing board?
No, I never minded using a scrub.
No.